A very good evening once again. You're watching News 9 Facebook Live with me, Adarsh Pachedu. Is the coronavirus airborne? This is a question that researchers around the world are looking to answer. And if the coronavirus can indeed stay suspended in air for a period of time, is airborne transmission of coronavirus possible? To try and answer this very question, our very own CSIR, or Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, has started its study. But the CSIR is wary. The director of the Research Institute has said that they do not want to cause any kind of false alert among the public. So till we have some concrete answers, questions will only remain as questions, no confirmation. To tell us more about how this study will be conducted, what are the possible results, and what it could mean for you and I, we have with us Dr. Paramesh, pulmonologist, joining us on the phone line. Many thanks, Doctor, for speaking to us, for taking time out. My first question, how will CSIR really carry out this particular study? What I gathered is that air samples from ICU, waiting rooms, and hospital corridors will be collected. What next? And how is it done exactly?
Hello.
Yes, Dr. Paramesh.
I think they are the one they're collecting the air in the air filter. The virus will be entrapped. Then they find out whether there are viruses are there or not. As a matter of fact, this all depends on the certain issues we have to know.
Okay.
While talking, you produce 100 droplets.
Correct.
While coughing, you produce about 1,000 droplets. While sneezing, over 1 lakh droplets. Those droplets, whether they have virus or not, is a different story. Okay, and these particle size varies from 2.5 to 10 micron. That's what we are worried about. Okay. But the viruses are in the smallest size, 0.1 to 0.3 microns. They won't stay there. And also bacteria, what you have, yes, 1 to 3 microns. The pollens is almost 30 to 50 microns. So I think these viruses, even if you find out, if they stay in the air for a long period of time, because while coughing, you generate a speed of, it depends on the volume of the air coming out and the velocity of the air coming out. Okay. Yes, so when you're coughing, you generate a speed of 750 kilometers per hour.
Okay.
While sneezing, you generate a speed of 1,250 kilometers. Okay. The bigger particle within 0.3 seconds, they will drop down within 3 feet. Medium size maybe within 6 feet. Small particles, they will be in the air longer period of time. 2.5 micron, they can travel up to 100 miles.
Okay. So
that is the cause.
If I could interrupt you right there, apologies, doctor.
Yes.
You were speaking about the distance aspect right there. So even in this particular study, isn't distance very important in the sense that wouldn't they be collecting air samples from every, say, 4 feet, 8 feet, 12 feet? Because you need to really understand as to how far these virus particles may really be traveling.
Yes, that is very much important. As a matter of fact, science has to progress. How best it can utilize for the human health, that has to be applied little later on. Science has to progress. We have to find out how long it travels. It is essential. I agree with you.
Okay.
And we should not unnecessarily make a false fear. People get worried about 100 miles. By this time, all the people would have been, all the villages would have been suffered from this one. So that is one thing we have to keep it in mind. But research is another aspect.
Please.
We have to go for it.
Okay.
But we cannot, to applying for the human body, biological system, one has to be cautious about it. Yes.
Now, doctor, there are various studies across the world that are really trying to understand the behavior of coronavirus in air. Whether it is proven or not that transmission of the virus is possible, what's in our hands are the precautions. What would be your word to the viewers in this regard?
I think so far what we know, majority of the spread of the virus comes from the droplets.
Okay.
Minimal, small amount may be from the aerosolization. Those only theoretical, not the practical hint. And contact would be the other one, touching the mouth and nose and all these things. So for this one, what we said that distancing, covering the face, washing the hands, these are all a must, not to touch your mouth and all these things. It is a must as a matter of fact. That has to be continued. We don't know this virus. Every week there are certain changes that come in here. We are learning every single day. And these are all the precautions we should take it. Otherwise, there is no other alternate until the vaccine comes. And also, we are not too sure how protective it is, how long it is. There is a doubt in the WHO also these vaccines. So I think until vaccine comes, which gives hope for us, these respiratory etiquettes, covering face, hands, and all these things, mask, distancing is a must. We should continue.
Okay.
3 feet is minimum.
3 feet is minimum.
Is a
Dogas
minimum.
Duri is
Yes.
what the Prime Minister had said. Many thanks, Dr. Paramesh, for joining us and for shedding light on the new study that the CSIR has now undertaken. They're trying to understand as to whether coronavirus is airborne, and if it is airborne, whether the transmission of it is possible and how quickly. So yes, we'll have to wait for the results coming in from CSIR. But yes, while the CSIR has just initiated its study, when it comes to the Centers for Disease Control in the United States, it took down its guidance warning on the possible airborne transmission of the novel coronavirus from its website, saying that the draft recommendations was in fact posted in error. Earlier, the US Health Agency had said that COVID-19 could indeed spread through airborne particles that can remain suspended in the air and travel beyond 6 feet. However, as of now, the agency's guidance denotes the virus mainly spreads from person to person through respiratory droplets, which can land in the mouth or nose of people nearby, which is what the doctor also said, apart from the contact surfaces that we have. Now, on the other hand, the WHO, the World Health Organization, has firmly maintained its policy on the aerosol transmission of the coronavirus. They have said that the disease primarily spreads through droplets, but in enclosed, crowded spaces with inadequate ventilation, aerosol transmission can indeed occur. So by this bit of update, in the sense that what WHO is talking about it, what the CDC is saying about the airborne transmission of coronavirus, what we clearly know is that whatever we're doing up until now, that is maintaining social distancing, maintaining hand hygiene and wearing of masks, that needs to continue. And yes, avoid enclosed spaces, avoid crowded spaces, and make sure wherever you're headed, that space is ventilated and not too crowded. If you like the information that we've shared with you this evening, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to News 9 on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Many thanks for joining us.